I was gonna bash this lens. I was about to give it a poor review and sell it. But then I went through a few thousand pictures that I've taken with this lens and I realized that I have to put some respect on the EF 85mm 1.2L's name. Let's talk about why. I remember when I first got this lens, I did an unboxing video. I was so excited to have it. One of my favorite photographers, Irene Rudnick, made a career out of using this lens and this focal length. So I just knew that this lens was gonna change my life and my career. So just like you do with a $2,000 lens, I used it every opportunity I had a chance. And I've got to say, I did appreciate this 85mm 1.2L, the EF version. And it actually produced some amazing work for me. But over time, I guess I started forgetting that I spent $2,000 for this lens, and I started using it less and less and less and less. I stopped bringing it with me on portrait shoots. It's super heavy. And I only started using it for in-studio shoots on a tripod. And I found this actually is where it does shine, is on a tripod. If you are considering this lens, it does need to be shot on a tripod, especially if you're using a DSLR and you do not have IBIS in your camera. And as time went on, it got superseded by some newer lenses, the 1.4 EF85. And of course, the big boy came out when the RF system was released, the 85 RF version 1.2, and not to mention the much cheaper 85mm 2.0 RF version as well. So, you know what? To make a long story short, the EF 85mm 1.2 ended up in the closet. So as I was preparing for this video, I decided to go through all of the pictures I've taken on the EF 85mm 1.2L. And I was surprised. There were a lot of keepers that I have taken with this lens, some absolute bangers. I found that some pictures that are in my portfolio now were taken with this lens, the 85mm 1.2L EF. So after going through the pictures and thinking about it, there are a few reasons why I just don't use the 85mm. The first is the focal length. It is not my favorite focal length for when I'm out shooting. It's one that I don't mind using, but it's one that I just don't want to be stuck to. The second reason is it's heavy, and you know, it's not a lens that you're just going to want to carry around just in case. If you bring it, you're going to have to use it because it's just too heavy not to use. The third is actually the biggest reason, and that is focus. This lens seems to struggle with focus. As I was going through the pictures, I noticed that a lot of them that I shot handheld were soft. And I don't think it's because the glass in the lens, I think it is because of how heavy it is and camera shake. A lot of the pictures that I took were from the 5D Mark III, and it had no IBIS in the camera, and there's no image stabilization on the lens. Therefore, it is easy to get a soft image just because of camera shake. So I found that this lens needs certain conditions. If you're shooting it on a DSLR, it needs to be on a tripod. Hands down, it needs to be on a tripod. When I looked at the pictures that I took on this lens on a tripod, they were super sharp, very sharp. When I look at the ones I took handheld, very soft. So it can be a sharp lens when shot on a tripod. So when do you use the 85mm 1.2L? You use it in studio for headshots on a tripod. All right, so my recommendation. Do I recommend the EF 85mm 1.2L today? I'm not going to give you the regular YouTube, you know what's up to you. No, I'm going to give you a straightforward recommendation. And my recommendation is do not buy this lens. It is still painfully expensive. They're still selling this lens for $2,000. That is crazy. No, do not spend $2,000 on this lens. Do not. I found other places on a used market you can get it for like $1,000. I think $1,000 is too much for this lens, and I think that you would definitely want to explore other options. I think over time, this lens has just lost its place. I think it is a great lens if you have it, but if you don't have it, it's not one that you need to get. It's not one that you have to have in your bag. There are just too many other options out there, and a lot of them are less expensive. But you know how I feel about it. Whatever you're shooting, I really just hope that you're using it, and I hope that you are enjoying it. So until next time, peace.